It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join Paul David and Brad Miller as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives here in Yavapai County. And now, here's today's Countywide.
Welcome to Countywide. I'm Paul David. Great to have you in studio today. Leslie Hoffman, Yavapai County Recorder, and Yavapai County Elections Director Lynn Constabile back with us. And we're just going to talk about maybe election changes that are going on here for 2014. How you two doing?
Great.
Great to see you again. It's always nice to have you in studio.
We love coming over.
Oh, good. Now, Leslie, you sent out a press release a couple weeks ago, maybe not even a couple weeks ago yet, but it was about a possible scam in the county. So I thought we'd hit that first and just kind of get that out of the way, and then we'll talk about changes for elections for 2014.
Sure.
So tell me a little bit about this scam. Is it a scam or not?
It is a scam only because they're charging for something that people can come to my office for free. They can go online. It comes out about every 6 months. We see this letter sent out to people stating that they will get a copy of your deed and any records information on your property. And we've seen a price anywhere from about $79 up into the 90s. This last one, I believe, was $89.
That's what you said on your on the release, yeah.
They would send them all the information on their property for $89, which my understanding is they do, but they can get that from us. They can come into our office and get one that doesn't have the watermark on it for $1 a page, or they can go online and get it for free.
Oh, okay.
So there are other ways that people can get that information without having to pay the $89.
So this is like some kind of middleman where I have him go do my legwork, which
Correct.
is actually just a couple of buttons I've got to push, and boom, I've got that information.
Correct.
Okay, so then I can come down to your office and pay, what, $1 a page? Is that what you said?
$1 a page,
Yeah.
yes. You pay $1 a page, and if you want a certified copy, then it's $3.
Wow.
So for a very minimal cost, you can get everything they can provide you.
A lot less.
A lot less.
A lot less. Okay. All right. Well, when I see that in the next 6 months, I'll remind folks again that they don't have to do it that way. They can just
Correct. And as soon as we see it, someone always comes in and brings a letter and says, why did I get this? Can't I get it here? So we're alerted from the public right away when they come out, and every time it does, we send out a quick press release to let everybody know.
Public's got your back.
Yeah.
Got your back. All right. Let's talk about some changes for 2014. I think the first thing I want to talk about, and you reminded me of what the word was. You said it's the word of the year for elections, is bifurcation.
Yes.
Bifurcation. So who wants to take that one and tell me what bifurcation is?
I'll take it.
Okay. Lynn's on stage. Go.
Basically, if when you register to vote, you can register with a state form or a federal form.
Okay.
And if you register with a federal form, you're not required to prove your citizenship. They won't put that on the form that you have to prove your citizenship to vote in Arizona.
Okay.
And if we can't prove it, so if we get your driver's license and we can prove it, no problem. But if we can't prove it, then you have to go on this list called a federal only. And the only thing you're eligible to vote for is federal races like president, U.S. senator, U.S. congressman.
Okay.
And that's it. So if you get your card in the mail and it says Fed only, that's what you're going to get when you get your ballot, is just those 3 races, if those 3 are on the ballot at that time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I'm only going to be able to, you can't, that's not even voting every year, is it?
No, it'll only be every 2 years.
Federal elections.
Yeah, only federal elections. So basically you're only eligible for federal elections. Now you can always come in, you can prove your citizenship and get on the regular list. And we don't have that many people on it. 76 out of about 122,000.
In Yavapai County.
In Yavapai, yeah. But the problem is that the EAC, they're the ones that do the federal form.
What's the EAC?
They're the Election Administration Committee.
Okay.
Commission, yeah, they're federal commission. They have refused to put our language on their federal form that says you have to prove citizenship to vote. They've denied that request.
Okay. Is this all part of 1070?
No, this was from Prop 200 in 2004, where you have to show ID at the polls and you have to prove citizenship to register.
Okay.
It was all voted on by the people in Arizona that that's what they wanted.
Okay.
And we're not the only state. Kansas and Georgia also asked the EAC to put their regulations on, and they've been denied too.
Yes. What counts as proof that I am who I am?
There's a whole bunch of things. Mostly we get a driver's license, Arizona driver's license number. If you put that on there.
Dated from October 1st, 1996. It has to be prior or after that. After that.
Yeah. After October 1st, 1996.
Yes. And you put that number on there, and what we do is we match it up at the MVD. Because you can actually get a license if you're not a citizen.
Right.
They're called F licenses, foreign.
Okay.
And we don't know that, but MVD does. So they send that information down, and they send it back to us and say, yes, this is okay. You can also put a copy of your birth certificate, a copy of your passport.
Or a naturalization number if you're naturalized and we go through Homeland Security, verify your citizenship, or tribal ID.
Tribal ID.
Tribal ID also.
Okay.
A lot of people are under the misconception that a social security number proves citizenship. All it does is proves you're a person. Yeah. That shows ID.
Okay.
Because we get that a lot on the federal form also. So we can at least verify that yes, you're a person through Social Security, but it does not prove citizenship because you do not have to be a citizen to get a Social Security number.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. What about my utility bill? There was a time when I could use utility bills to prove who I was.
Well, you can prove ID at the polls with your utility bill.
Okay.
ID at the polls is different than citizenship.
Okay.
So the requirements are different.
Okay.
Yeah, because you won't want to take your birth certificate into the polls, but usually you have a utility bill or, again, driver's license, passport, military ID, bank statements. There's a whole list of things that you can prove ID at the polls.
Yeah. Or you went in and you have your driver's license and you've changed your address, but a lot of times you don't get your address change on the face of your driver's license.
Okay.
So you'll bring in your driver's license, that's your photo ID, bring in your utility bill that has the correct address of where you live that matches the voter registration rolls. That's when you can use that as additional ID at the polls.
Gotcha. Okay. So just have
it's supporting documents.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So have a variety of things with you when you do that.
If you have your license and it has the correct address that we have on file, that's all you really need.
Okay. All right. All right. Very good.
Yeah.
What are some other changes we got going on this election cycle?
Well, we're still going to have vote centers. We're going to still have 30
So we'll be going to the
centers.
polls this year?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, in August and November.
Okay.
But we're going to have big ballots. We're going to have a lot of people on that August ballot.
That was one of the things I wanted you definitely to talk about when you came in today, because I've heard a lot of people say, what a nightmare that I'm going to get this ballot. It's going to be like this big book. And what was the theory behind doing this?
I guess the theory was that it would save money.
Okay.
And it would boost participation.
How is that?
Well, I think more people vote in the even year elections because there's more hoopla about it. There's more news, everybody's on the news about it. They hear about it, so they think, oh, I better go vote.
Sure.
So I think that was the hope, that it would boost participation.
Higher turnout.
Yeah. I don't know if it will. Historically, in our primaries, we get about a 30% return.
Yavapai County does great during elections.
Yeah.
Only during the generals, though. During the primaries, a lot of people think that because they're not of one party or the other, that they don't get to vote in the primary. But everybody does, and we need to say that a lot.
Yes.
Everybody
we have talked
gets
about this
to.
before,
Yeah.
right? And you've actually pushed that with us quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think Anna, when she was back as county recorder, she actually talked about the fact that, a lot of elections, or maybe you did, Lynn, a lot of elections are decided right there in the primary.
Yes.
And now you just
Absolutely.
missed out on it.
Yes,
Right,
yes.
right.
And you do, even if you're an independent, if you're nonpartisan, if you're green or purple or orange.
Whatever.
Everybody has an opportunity
Yeah,
to vote.
everybody can vote. Everybody gets to pick a ballot.
So hit the primaries for sure.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, and your city elections are going to be in the primaries now. So all of your cities have to have their candidates on that primary ballot, and those can also be decided.
Yeah.
So you're going to want to vote then.
All right, we have to take a break. All right.
Okay.
Yavapai County Elections Director Lynn Constabile in studio today, along with Yavapai County Recorder Leslie Hoffman. I'm Paul David. This is Countywide. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Listen now, can you hear the bluebirds All right. I know this isn't any fun to talk about, but we should. Okay. So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice.
And I'll try to get the generator going without any gas.
Oh, let's not forget the cell phones, which probably won't work.
Right.
And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
Well, I think we couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
Welcome back to Countywide. We're talking 2014 elections with Yavapai County Recorder Leslie Hoffman and Yavapai County Elections Director Lynn Constabile. Another question for you. My next question for you, I should say. I got a little something from Flagstaff City Council that said their council members, instead of having a spring election, some of them being up for spring, that they're all actually going to stay on now till the fall.
Right.
And then elections will be held in the fall.
Right, and they had to do that because they
Why
would.
is that?
Well, they would have had to have an election March and May this year.
Okay.
And now they're not allowed because it says starting in 2014 they have to be on August and November.
Okay.
So they either had to shorten their terms and have an election in 2012 or lengthen them and have them this fall.
Well, I guess it makes more sense to just lengthen them for a few months.
For a
than
few months,
cut them
yeah.
short for 2 years.
Yeah, so we are having a Sedona election in March, but it's only a general plan question.
Okay.
So there'll be no candidates on that ballot.
So are we voting at all in this spring?
Well,
Yavapai County?
Sedona is.
Okay, Sedona is, right. I don't want to limit it, but Sedona is. But I'm talking about, because usually we have
Clarkdale
a primary
and
story with you guys. We have the general story with you guys, primary, general. We do it
Yeah.
twice a year on each.
No, and we haven't heard anybody that's going to be on the May election at all yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Oh.
They still have time to get on, but yeah, I haven't heard of anybody.
Okay, so spring's going to be kind of quiet for you.
Yeah.
Extra paperwork done, I guess.
Just makes bigger elections for August and November, so we're working on those. Have been for
couple months.
Couple of months now.
Yeah.
Do you think, because when we were talking off camera there about the topic we had just before we took the break about the longer ballot, you had mentioned, Lynn, that it's kind of shown that the top of the ballot gets a lot of attention, and if we have this really big ballot, that we may have some folks that you called it, what was it?
Voter fatigue.
Voter fatigue. Ballot fatigue.
Yeah. So, what do we do to get people to actually stay focused and get through the whole thing?
You know, I suggest they vote by mail because that's what I do. I take it home and then I take a few questions every night and I vote them, and then I don't have to do it all at one time, like at the polls.
Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about.
You can study that ballot.
Yeah.
Oh, I could see myself being in that booth going, oh, I'm feeling like I'm taking too long, and there's somebody waiting for me.
There's actually a law that you can't take more than 5 minutes in the booth.
Oh, really?
We don't enforce that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
But there is that, though, right? So if somebody wanted to, they could.
Keep the lines moving and things like that. There's a law, but yeah, there's no way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, multi-page ballots could take a long time, especially if you really want to focus on every question, every candidate.
Which you should.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, I think we've talked in the past as well that it's probably a good idea to get those booklets that you guys put out, or the state puts out, that has information about each of the candidates, pros, cons, all that good stuff is in there, and do some research before you. I think we've talked about that before, is have that with you, so when you go to the poll, you know exactly what you're going to be doing.
Right. Yeah. Right. It's so much easier just to get it in the mail and fill it out and
So which one of you blows the whistle at the 5-minute mark?
No, we don't enforce it.
I can just see that, can't you?
Oh, that would be bad.
Oh, that would be horrible, just horrible. Oh, early voting. You mentioned early. Let's talk early voting.
Yeah. About 75% of our voters in Yavapai County vote early or by mail.
Okay.
So we only had, in the general, about 25,000 who went to the vote centers. That was another reason that Lynn had consolidated and went to the vote centers.
Yeah. We were getting less and less people show up on election day, so it seemed like a better idea to have less places, but you could go anywhere you wanted.
Right.
So you didn't cut the convenience, but you did modify that expense considerably.
So vote by home is kind of actually really taken off, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. It has.
The whole western United States, it really has gone to vote by mail, early voting.
Yeah, there's
It's very popular.
3 states now that do it all the
Everything.
time. Colorado, Oregon, and Washington.
Okay.
All vote by mail.
All vote by mail, even the federal elections?
Everything.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So that's probably the way to go. How do I go about doing that to make sure that that's what I'm going to be able to do?
Well, you can sign up to be on the permanent early voting list.
Okay.
And that way, anytime you're eligible for election, we just mail you your ballot automatically.
Now, when might I need to change the information to get it to you so I make sure I get that? Because I've always done a story with you guys about, well, if you haven't received this yet, it's because this, or this may have happened, so call Lynn or Leslie and get it figured out.
We can do vote by mail up to 11 days before the election.
Okay.
So even if you just call and you want a ballot, we can still mail up to 11 days before. We start mailing out 26 days before
26
the
days.
election.
Okay.
So anytime. And then for the primary in general, you can actually get on the list anytime on the list. But if you just want to call just for one of those elections, we take those 93 days out.
Okay.
So you can call, we can put you on the list for that election only. For the primary election, we were talking about the independents that vote. You'll actually get a letter in the mail that says you're on the permanent early voting list, you need to pick a ballot.
Right.
So you need to pick Republican, Democrat, or whoever else is recognized.
Right.
And tell us, because if you don't tell us, we can't send you one.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we
Okay.
can't send you all of them.
Right, you can't vote all the ballots.
Yeah.
So that's for the
You just have to
independents.
pick one.
Yeah,
Yes.
independents or non-recognized parties.
Okay, all right. Voter registration, if I move, do I need to change all that stuff, or do I just
Absolutely.
register once with you and I'm done with it?
No. Anytime you move, you have to fill out a new form or go on servicearizona.com, change your address, because we have to re-precinct you.
Okay.
We have to be sure you're in the right location, so you have to re-register if you move. Now, if you just change your mailing address, say you decide to get a P.O. box, you can call.
Okay.
And we'll verify that it's you based on information we have on record.
Okay.
You can call and change your mailing address, but if you change your physical address, you do have to re-register. Either you can do it in person, you can do it online, but you have to let us know so that we can get you in the right precinct.
Okay. AccuVote's going bye-bye. Those machines that you clicked and off it went to you guys. What happened? What's going on with AccuVote?
Well, they're getting old.
They're old.
Yeah, we've used them since 1998.
Wow.
Yeah, and they don't make them anymore. They don't make the cards anymore. We actually rented some for the 2012 elections just so we had spares. And we were told we rented all the spares in the whole United States.
Oh my gosh.
In Yavapai County.
You said it was like 30?
Yeah,
Oh,
30.
oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, so there's not that many spares. And so what we're going to do is, and it's a budgetary concern, like Leslie was saying, only 25% of the people go that way. So we're going to have a box. It's still paper ballots. You'll get your ballot, vote it, and then put it in a box. And then we're going to count them centrally in Prescott. So we're going to do a central count system.
Okay.
Yeah.
No big change there. It's just not going to be the AccuVote machine.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Let's take our next break, and then we've got a couple of interesting things. Leslie, we wanted to talk one thing with you about doing the talks in high school.
Yes.
And then I got one more question for you as well. So stick around. Okay, countywide, I'm Paul David, Leslie Hoffman, our Yavapai County reporter in studio, Yavapai County Elections Director Lynn Constabile. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Ronnie had huge aspirations.
He knew he could get pills in the community.
He found his body in an apartment in Telford.
I never thought my son would take prescription drugs without a prescription.
Secure your medications and talk with your kids. Visit drugfree.org.
Wake the sun, tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. I'm going to find some peace of mind. Wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
would steal pills from my friend's mom.
We talk about all the common drugs, but never prescription medication.
I was addicted to pills.
Had I more knowledge, I would have done things differently.
Secure your medications and talk with your kids. Visit drugfree.org.
A single ember from a wildfire can travel over a mile. That ember can ignite and destroy your home or community. You can't control where that ember will land. Only what happens before it does. Visit fireadapted.org to learn how you can help protect your community from wildfires.
Welcome back to Countywide. We have a couple of minutes left in the program. We want to get a couple more questions in. Poll workers, it's a part-time job, but do you need poll workers for the elections?
We always do. Okay. Yes, we always do. And actually, we're contacting people that have worked before.
Okay.
And we're sending out a survey to see if they can work again. And we actually have a lot of things online now. So if you do want to sign up to be a poll worker, there's a little banner ad on our website.
Right at the top.
Yep. And you click on it, and it'll bring up a survey, and you fill out the survey. And I get those in the mail every day. Mm-hmm. We've gotten back over 270 so far.
Okay.
And we need about 350 people, so we're getting there.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because like you said, it's better to have a little more because sometimes people drop out, things happen, and you're just not going to be able to do it.
Yes.
Leslie and Lynn, you both have been asked to go to schools and give talks about elections. And I had no idea you did that, but that's very interesting. So tell us just a little bit about that. We've got 2 minutes.
It's a great program. We go all over the county. We did Ash Fork and Seligman this year. We've come over here to the Verde. We try to focus on our seniors, some of the smaller schools. We do seniors and juniors, government class, civic classes. Mm-hmm. We bring in our equipment. We talk about voter registration, elections. The kids get to participate. They get prizes. And we actually have ballots. They get to vote a cookie ballot. Put it through the machines. Mm-hmm. It's a really fun, interactive class. The students love it. Teachers love it. And we try to go twice a year because so many of these classes are a one-semester class. Mm-hmm. So we go to a lot of the high schools first semester, and then we come back and do it second semester. And we can do it one class. We have a couple of schools that have us there all day. And all the civics classes come in, one right after the other, or the government classes. Mm-hmm. And we just do the class all day long.
And we get student poll workers from those classes.
Yes.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. And then it also encourages them to vote as well.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a lot of them. We had one girl who had said she voted in the general election, and she said, boy, I wish I'd have had this class first because I was so nervous I didn't know what to expect. Mm-hmm. And that's part of your young people not voting, and 18 to 26-year-olds are historically fall into the lowest voting percentage.
Yeah.
Wow, really?
So it kind of helps encourage that. And even Yavapai County, that age bracket has increased since this program was started. And it started back with Anna Wayman Trujillo, my predecessor.
Okay.
She started, and then I've continued. It's one of the funnest things we do.
Oh, yeah, I bet. Get out of the office and hang out with the young people and find out
Yeah.
how they're thinking and stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, how would a school, if they're watching right now, how would a school contact you to kind of set something like that up?
Call us, and we send a letter out. We just had an email go out the end of last week to to everybody we know. We try to call the schools and find out the individuals that need to that we need to contact instead of it just going to a general email. Sure. But anybody, if they haven't seen that letter, call my office. Talk to myself. Talk to Karen Alanis. She's my administrative assistant, and she'll get the classes booked, and we'll come over and do the classes.
Awesome. All right. Lynn Constabile, Leslie Hoffman, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
That's today's Countywide. I'm Paul David. We'll talk to you again next time.